Welcome to day 141 of 66 and 26, our journey to read through all 66 books of the Bible in 2026. We're back in the book of Exodus today as we start week 21 of our journey to read through all the books of the Bible. In the book of Exodus, you'll notice today there's a lot of detail, a very detailed description about garments for the priests, about the sacrifices that are to be given, about the anointing and the consecration of those priests, Aaron and his descendants. What this tells us, the very detailed description, is that God is meticulous. He's very concerned about the details, in particular, the details of holiness and reverence before him, because he is a holy God, unlike anything else that we have in the world that is created. God is set apart from all those things, and so he deserves praise and reverence and respect. And so all of the details point us to the God of detail, the God who is very concerned about holiness and even the finest bit of holiness. One of the things that we see also is the consecration of priests before the Lord. So Aaron and his descendants are to be set apart to be those priests, and a priest has two primary duties. One is that the priest represents the people before God, and two, the priest represents God before the people. So one of the things that you notice is that there's a piece of the priestly garment, the attire that the priest wears coming into the presence of the Lord, that has shoulder pads on it. It's called the ephod, and the ephod has two stones, one on each shoulder, and each stone has engraved on it the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. So 6 on one shoulder and 6 on the other shoulder. And then in addition to that, there's a breastplate with 12 stones in 4 rows, 3 on each. That's a breastplate across the priest's front, that each stone has a name of the tribe, one name for a tribe on each stone across the breastplate. And so when the priest comes into the presence of the Lord at the tent of meeting or the tabernacle, then he is always bringing the representation of all of the tribes into the presence of the Lord. Another detail that you will notice is that there are very specific instructions for what kind of sacrifices are brought. The lambs and the bulls that are killed, and the blood spread out or sprinkled over parts of the altar or on the priests themselves. And because men and women are sinful, then the representation of those men and women, the priests, are also sinful, and they're having to be covered over by the sacrifice, because something has to die for our sin, and those animals die in our place. And those sacrifices, then the blood shows God that, as if he didn't know already, but shows God that they are holy and worthy to come into his presence because that sacrifice has been made. And then there are parts of the animal that are given to the priests, because the priests, that their whole work is the work of the tabernacle and representing the people to God. And so they don't do any other regular work, and they depend on the offerings of the people of Israel. And so the parts of the meat that are set aside for the consecration of the priests actually shows for years and years to come, generations to come, that those parts of the sacrifice they bring each week, each month, each year are to be given for the livelihood of the priests as well. So God is an orderly God. God is a holy God who cares very much about purity. And God is a loving God who wants to dwell in the midst of his people. And all of these things actually point to the reason we need Jesus. He is our ultimate sacrifice, and he is the one who keeps very meticulously every single law on our behalf, so we don't have to keep the law anymore.